Hi there and welcome to Celeb Hut. You all, not JT and Young Miami, are going this way, and via web-based entertainment over Ari Fletcher, you all have the ability. The ability. The roads have been saying that JT and Keisha are no longer companions, and there's some kind of meet happening between the city quells. Well, Miami just got down on JT and really looked at her for dissing her new bestie. Ari, you all on the web never figured they would see the day when the city girls would get into a nasty squabble via online entertainment. However, it appears as though the day is at long last. Gravitating toward on the grounds that these two ladies can't stand each other. Did Ari simply take Miami from JT, so it's beginning to look like not exclusively are the city girls separated? But at the same time, there's a tad of meat happening between the two ladies, and it's beginning to gush out over into virtual entertainment. We initially began to see that they were staying away from one another via online entertainment and weren't exceptionally agreeable either. Essentially not in the manner in which they used to be. Nevertheless, they just delivered their collection last year, and we felt that they had previously made up well. Certain individuals even believed that the entire meet was only an obscure approach to advancing their collection by attempting to work up some discussion, yet the collection truly didn't perform well indeed. And it turned out to be progressively evident that since they had that hamburger it was for clout alone, as well as on the grounds that they're truly not cordial with one another. In actuality, they've quit spending time with one another, and in any event, when Miami had this lavish 30th birthday celebration party last month, JT was mysteriously absent, which is exceptionally bizarre. Thinking about that, the two of them have been companions since they were youngsters, and they both swore that they would have been each other's ride or die for all eternity. So as of now, we should simply say that the city girls are completely finished with. So presently you realize that there were murmurs going around for very nearly 2 years about them tapping out right well. Even with that, when somebody from a bunch goes it alone, they still sort of spend time with the gathering, yet these two haven't said a peep regarding the city girls, passing on fans to believe that the gathering is presumably finished. For genuine, the gathering separating isn't precisely unbelievable regardless of whether it is a couple like the city girls. However, I think most of us figured they stay together a piece longer, since like I said, they've been tight since they were just teens, so the possibility of them beefing so emphatically like this is only sort of unusual. In addition to, they have consistently shown outrageous steadfastness to one another via virtual entertainment, like how Miami held the gathering down all alone while JT was in jail, so she might have decided to go it alone and do whatever she might feel like doing as Young Miami, and no one would have accused her, assuming she did. I mean, it was around the time that they had quite recently fired Exploding after she had stood out for being in Drake's I End My Sentiments video, and they required to ride that wave and lift their vocations, so JT going to jail was the very most terrible time conceivable. However, Miami remained by JT while she was in jail, showing that she's a reliable companion, yet JT on the other end was more than thankful to Miami for remaining next to her. Like she said in her tune, JT's most memorable outing was rapped, "I've been a genuine one way before the fair case. Young Miami held me down as a B-ace, and in the event that a B-A empties her, it's a C case," and it seemed as though they were in it for the long stretch, you all. However, back in 2022, fans began seeing some pressure between them. Miami wasn't back in JT like she used to, and people saw her staying away from JT in broad daylight. At first, some believed that perhaps it was on the grounds that Miami was getting comfortable with Diddy, feeling like she'd gone up and abandoned JT, that we should confront it. Miami's thing with Diddy opened entryways that JT didn't actually approach. Take, for instance, Miami sending off her consideration if it's not too much trouble, brand selling garments, merchandise, and a wide range of stuff. She even scored her own syndicated program, Carisha Please, on Diddy's Revolt Television, win 2 BET grants for it presently. Don't get me wrong, JT's been doing her thing excessively, moving with Little Uzi Burr and protecting her own sack, yet Miami's association with Diddy was on another level, and people really wanted to look at them and discuss how Miami was sparkling more brilliantly than JT. There was likewise a ton of prattle about how Miami wasn't showing JT as much love via virtual entertainment as she used to. Individuals saw that JT got into online disagreements, and Miami just kept silent. Yet when Miami got into it online, JT generally had her back. Like recall when JT and Cardi B went at it last year. Miami kept silent during that entire wreck. I'm discussing that insane battle where the Cardi blamed JT for being Nicki Minaj's lab canine, called her incompetent, hauled her for not having hits yet, and, surprisingly, ridiculed her for going to jail. It was a wild time on Twitter in those days since you got genuinely terrible. Genuine, speedy, gracious, and recall how I said that JT was missing from Miami's birthday celebration this year. Well, she was likewise missing from Miami's birthday last year, which makes it 2 years straight she's been missing from commending someone's birthday, and I think that is exceptionally telling. It reached a place where Miami quit attempting to try and imagine like she thought often about JT or the City Girls. I mean, she even boasted about resigning from rap. She said, "I don't rap no more. I resigned." You all this was somewhat wild thinking about that she had just became famous around 3 or 4 years before that, so resigning was giving something especially something, yet as of now JT likewise began to move away from Miami in any event, venturing to unfollow the City Girls page on Instagram. In a meeting, she sort of implied that Miami's relationship with Diddy was overwhelming their vocation as a couple. I mean, ideally, the fate of the city can be the city legends and I ask that our self-images could do without discreet it. Or the web or a people, or like nothing. You get what I'm attempting to say, like nothing. I genuinely want to believe that I use stress well, even from that point the two of them been somewhat doing their own things, and I simply realized that JT is glad that she and Miami have removed themselves out in the open, or she would have likewise been hauled into Diddy's wreck. You all skip. Diddy got uncovered for supposedly doing something V-stuff to ladies, right? Well, Miami additionally got hauled in for exactly the same thing with individuals in any event, proposing that she may have participated in, did these little oddity offs or even supposedly help to compel different ladies into freak-offs on the grounds that JT has at this point not related with Miami, and likewise Diddy. She had the option to stay away from the vast majority of the aftermath show. Well, Miami is currently rebranding herself with her ginger-shaded hair, putting all that show behind her when she as of late declared that she is currently in her I-time. Well, the fascinating thing about this is that she's reporting this new period the day after JT dropped her new tune Sideways, and obviously the fans got some sort of shade that was being tossed at Miami and Ari Fletcher. I'm discussing the part where she said, "B, I ain't cordial. I don't eat for you all honeybees attempting to take who ain't enough of you all. Honeybees, young lady, so fake made me see them sideways. It won't ever go back, mother of the pastimes." Now this was certainly a dig at Miami and the way that she had attempted to supplant JT with Ari Fletcher, and Ari was her new best bud since young Miami was presently getting things done with Ari that she used to do with JT, and I surmise JT wasn't feeling it since she needed to compose those verses yet. Ari was not by any means the only one of Miami's companions that JT has dropping out with on T. He grounds that she and Sally Santana additionally dropped out with one another. However, we don't know fundamentally what occurred among JT and Santana. We saw that they unfollowed each other on Instagram, and like I generally say when individuals get going following each other via virtual entertainment, there's continuously going to be some show in the background. Yet JT is once again at it once more, and this time she is tossing a few shades at Ari Fletcher and young Miami straightforwardly find in her new sweet potatoes time. Miami has been in the club often partying hard with Dari. However, to be fair, these are generally paid club appearances, so they get compensated to go to clubs, drink, and act terrible and everything. And JT didn't attempt to conceal the way that she was being when she hauled Ari in Miami for some setting. JT as of late reported that she's going on a smaller than normal visit and dropped event dates, yet certain individuals felt the sort of way about this since she just has around 3 independent tunes out. Someone said, "You all going into that 3-melody show?" And JT banged back with, "Yes, you all go see honeybees without any tunes, pour alcohol down their throat. However you all define the boundary with my extraordinary music, go put your silly self down, be attempting to be so unique, obvious reality kept own work the entryway." No doubt this was some unmistakable shade in Miami, and as per an insider, Miami got that shade. And she is more than enraged at JT supposedly. She believes that JTT is dissatisfied and being unimportant. She feels that JT owes her a whole vocation in light of the fact that without Miami JT. Subscribe Celeb Hut for more videos.